So we're here with Ravi Dawani from CSF Cooling to talk about not only the best Corolla GR intercooler on the market, but it also happens to be the best performing intercooler we have ever tested, period.
Wow, okay.
In all of MotoIQ's testing. Now, this bad boy actually dropped the charge temperature 268 degrees, and that's a whopping 111 degrees better than the stock intercooler, which is pretty darn good. So it actually took the compressor discharge air and cooled it to about a degree or two over the ambient temperature on the dyno. I mean, that's amazing. We haven't even had an intercooler come even close to this before. And some of it is due to like a lot of the engineering of the intercooler, which we're going to go through. Now, here's your stock GR intercooler. You know, it's like a bar and plate from the factory. It's a pretty good unit. I mean, you know, a pretty good heat exchanger. You know, what else could we say? It's a stock intercooler, but it's not a bad design, and you know, gets the job done. And it'll drop the charge air temp like 150 or more degrees, which isn't bad. And it's about typically what you see with a good intercooler. But your intercooler is amazing. I mean, it's like 111 degrees better than this guy. And I've never seen an intercooler cool the air to almost ambient air temperature before. So why don't we go over some of these features in here?
Yeah, well, Mike, thanks for having us. It's nice to be back at the MotoIQ garage. Yeah, we put a lot of design and engineering time into our new GR Corolla intercooler. We really wanted to be able to give potential buyers the biggest bang for your buck in terms of cost efficiency, performance, and the easiness of installation in terms of it being a drop-in fit where you don't have to modify or cut anything. So, you know, one of the things that's obvious from just looking at it compared to the OEM intercooler is this stepped core design. So what we did is we have the same bottom section as the original. It's slightly thicker than the bottom, but pretty much the bottom section is about the same. And then we added this stepped core feature that's not towards the front of the core, but it's actually set back. And the reason we did that is we wanted to be able to maximize the height of the second portion and the height of the overall intercooler to clear the basically the hood latch, that kind of the bracket that goes right in front of the intercooler. So this is within a couple millimeters of hitting that hood latch. So we really were able to maximize all of the space through 3D scanning and the design process. And because it's, you know, for a hot hatch sport compact turbocharged 4-cylinder, we also wanted to make it extremely lightweight. So we're using the same similar ethos of it being a tube and fin style core. This one's also a tube and fin. Kind of gives it a lot of that Japanese sport compact pedigree that you would typically see from a Japanese intercooler. We didn't want to go for a heavier bar and plate that maybe is suitable for super high boost or drag racing application. Exactly. You know, this is going to be more of a circuit car, street hot hatch. Maybe some guys will do some drag racing on it, but this is kind of like a one type fits all design that we came up with.
Now, if you've watched some of my other videos where I've talked about intercoolers, for cars that are being driven track days and road racing, I usually prefer tube and fin because of the lighter weight. As long as the air is moving over it, it usually has better heat exchange, and air can usually pass through a tube and fin better to get to the radiator, which a lot of people forget about.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, especially for this car, for guys who are going to be driving this on track, you really want to make sure that you're not degrading the efficiency of the radiator that's behind it. Or even for a street guy, you know, you have especially with the step here, you have your AC condenser, right? So you don't want the other cooling systems in your vehicle to be negatively impacted by your choice of intercooler. Because CSF designs all of these different coolers for the vehicle, we wanted to make sure that, you know, they kind of work in a harmonious balance.
Now, there's a few other intercoolers on the market that, you know, don't have as much frontal area, but they do have more, and they always require you to cut the bumper beam or something. Now, Does this bolt straight in and you don't have to cut the bumper beam?
Yeah, this is a complete bolt-on solution. We've been working with our partners over at CSF Racing to really just maximize the size. So several different iterations of the scanning process, 3D prints. We were really able to make it fit. So it's just a complete plug-and-play unit. You can install this in about an hour.
Now, from my engineering side, I know that when you're talking about how heat exchanger design works, generally the greatest amount of heat exchange is in the first 1.5 inches of the core. And frontal area has the biggest impact in how efficient the heat exchanger is. Now, a lot of the other GR intercoolers are like fatter, but not very much taller. But then this one exposes a lot of core area to the airflow, and I think that's part of your secret, right?
Absolutely. I think you kind of nailed it on the head, right? We have this nice top section that's super thin, but it has a lot of adds a lot of frontal surface area to the intercooler. We have a nice large OEM plus size of the bottom section, so you still get that volume within it for increased boost pressure, or if you're flowing more because of upgraded turbos or other types of power adders. So not only that, what we also did was we made our inlet and outlets 2.5-inch diameters versus the stock, which is like a small, like 1.75 inches. And then what we did was we designed these custom 5-ply silicone hoses that come with it as reducers. So what this allows an enthusiast to do is you can bolt this up, plug and play, use our reducers, but in the future, if you want to get a tune,
Upgrade the turbo.
Upgrade the turbos, build the engines. Like guys have gone crazy with the RS. We're expecting the same types of modifications that happen to the Corolla market. Then you can remove the hoses, and then you can run an upgraded aluminum
charge
pipe kit.
pipes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And CSF Racing is going to have all of those upgrades available, along with the engine oil cooler that we've been working with them as well.
I mean, really, I think it's the secret is the frontal area, because I mean, we tested this thing on the dyno, and we didn't cheat. I mean, we did it with the hood closed and with the bumper fully installed and the bumper fascia on there, and then you still had this crazy performance. Like, I've never seen anything drop the temperature to like ambient. I mean, it was within a degree or two.
Yeah, we were, and to be fair for us too, we didn't know how well it was going to perform, right? Theoretically, we can run things in our lab. We can do the calculations through simulation, but until you put it on the car, you really never know how it's going to react. And we're super excited about the results. Really just adds, it kind of gives everybody the headroom that they need. So once people start to tune these and scale, that additional intake air temperature reduction will allow you to really increase the boost pressures, and get the most out of your vehicle.
I think too, like when guys do tunes with the stock turbo, and they're pushing the stock turbo for every bit that it has, generally you're running that stock turbo, like into an inefficient part of the map, and your charge air temp starts to shoot up. Then this intercooler will really work to return the intake charge temp to probably even less than it was when the turbo was in its happy spot.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping for. You and I have done a lot of testing together on stock turbo cars, whether it was a Supra or, some of the other vehicles that we've done testing on. And, that stock turbo, the compressor starts spinning, it starts generating more heat to be able to hit the boost target from the tune. You need a better and more efficient intercooler to be able to bring those intake air temperatures back down to where your car's not cutting timing, and you can really maximize the tune that you've actually put on your car and you intended to use it for.
With the more cross-sectional area too, you're going to look at a lot less pressure drop across the core too.
Yeah, we were really happy about, even on an untuned car, we're still making, horsepower increases when we were at the dyno over at World. Super happy about this. It comes in both black and silver. So, right now, obviously we have the black one in front of us, but if you do want to have a silver intercooler that kind of looks a little bit more aggressive or, a little bit more eye-opening through the front grille, that's available as well.
Now, this black coating, is it like special or anything?
Yeah, it's like a thermal ceramic property powder coating that we do, and it has some heat dissipation characteristics to it. So obviously it's anti-corrosion. Kind of gives it that like stealth OE plus look. And like I said, it's also available in silver.
Is this made by Cerakote?
This isn't a Cerakote. So this is actually just a really nice thin layer automotive powder coat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's that heat radiating
Yeah.
special kind of stuff.
Yep.
I noticed too, like even like your clamps are really good quality. Like maybe some of you guys know what Norma clamps are, and Norma clamps are like aircraft clamps, and we run them on a lot of our cars that we build here because they don't blow off like at higher boosts. And you can see, you know, these have one more feature that the Norma doesn't have. It has this kind of groove that gets on both sides of the bead that you roll in your charge pipes. But these clamps have rolled edges so they don't cut into the hose. They also have like closed gear teeth, so this thing doesn't strip out. I'm geeking out on these clamps, but you know, I just went through this whole thing on the car where we're wrestling with the clamps that another intercooler kit company made, and they kept on blowing off when the boost, you know, went above 35 psi, and we had to end up buying Norma clamps and replacing all the ones that came in the kit. So that was a big pain in the ass. But I think, you know, with this quality of clamp, they're not going to have that problem with your intercooler.
Yeah, you know, this is kind of that next frontier for us as the race division of CSF, is to be able to not just supply you the cooling component, but also to be able to supply you the rest of the kit. So we've really gone out of our way with this kit to, you know, give you really nice 5-ply silicone hose. We went kind of more for a motorsports look than that, you know, typical shiny gloss, you know, kind of silicone hoses that you typically see in the market. We definitely went with more of an upgraded clamp with, you know, better features in terms of the force and clamping and security. You know, obviously branded with our partner on this stuff, Jackson Racing as well. So just, you know, we really thought about the whole kit. It comes packaged really nicely. So, you know, anybody shipping this across the world, we try to maximize, you know, the space of the box, so the shipping cost is low, but also want to make sure it gets there with no damages and it's all well protected.
I mean, I'm geeking out on this clamp, dude. Like, Norma clamps are cool, and you guys have one feature I noticed that Norma doesn't have, and I've never seen a worm gear type clamp have this bead lock feature in here, and man, you should sell these actually just by themselves. But yeah, this thing is sweet. You know, like we helped install it. Like we're able to install this thing literally in like half an hour or something, and we weren't even rushing. I think the hardest thing was taking off the bumper cover, but even, shoot, that was easy.
Yeah, so when you buy it, it comes with a full detailed instruction kit on how to take off the bumper, how to install the intercooler. You know, anybody who's got, you know, a decent set of tools can easily DIY this in their own garage. You're able to do it on the floor with a jack. You don't need to have a lift. So yeah, we really try to make this intercooler for the enthusiast. We try to price it at a price that's kind of aggressive for the enthusiast.
And we didn't even look at the instructions.
Yeah. So in terms of pricing, we're really targeting this to be $899 USD, so $899. I think that's by far one of the most competitive prices for this intercooler in the market compared to what's out there already. And really, we're able to offer this value because of the scale of CSF and the economies and efficiencies that we have.
And seriously, I mean, when I was joking that I said I'm going to buy one of those cars just to run your intercooler, I actually almost wasn't really joking. I mean, this is mind-boggling performance, and yeah. I mean, that's my honest opinion.
Well, you know, Mike, I appreciate that. You know, you've kind of been there since the day we were on the dyno and kind of saw the results firsthand. I think for all of us, we didn't know how well it was going to work, so we're all really enthusiastic and excited about the performance. And these are going to be on the market this April, so April 2024. They'll be available in both black and silver. We're doing this project with Jackson Racing, and not only do we have the intercooler, you know, you'll be able to see more information on our engine oil cooler that we got releasing soon as well.
And so we're testing the intercooler. I was telling Robbie, hey man, we're going to test this thing, and we're going to make content about whether it works good or not. And he's going, okay. And then, I mean, it works so amazingly good. I had to get him here to be in the video to help talk about it some. And shoot, did we go over everything?
I think we did. Yeah, I think we covered all of it. You know, in the kit, obviously, is going to be the step core intercooler, the two 5-ply silicone hose reducers from 2.5 inch to 1 3/4 inch, and the 4 clamps to plug it all together.
And Yeah, I got to repeat myself. I mean, literally, this is the best performing intercooler we've ever tested. And literally, it brought the charge air temp from 300 something degrees down to, or actually, it's the high 200s down to a couple degrees above ambient. And yeah, mind officially blown.
Yeah.
So good job, Robbie.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. It's good to be here.
All right.